told you this is the exact same sim. No custom content, no changing her face, exactly the same sim. Just one sim, but two completely different ideas and different ways of living their lives. Hey stargazers, welcome to another video. If you're new here, I'm Casey Simply Sims, and I create sims with stories worth telling. And today we're kicking off my very first Create a Sim challenge, One Sim, Two Lives. For the next several weeks, I'll be taking one sim and creating two completely different versions of their story through style, personality, and imagination. And today we're starting off with a pretty basic and simple contrast, Angel versus Devil. First up, we're gonna meet Elodie Vale, and then we will meet Alara Graves. Again, same sim, two different lives, two completely different stories. So let me introduce you to Elodie Vale. Before I even started putting together outfits or picking hairstyles, I wanted to know exactly who Elodie was. Because for me, that's always where creating a sim begins. I try really hard not to think of them as a collection of outfits or traits, but as real people. So I wanted to ask myself one question before getting started. If kindness had a face, what kind of a woman would she be? And Elodie was my answer. To me, she's someone who walks into a room and instantly makes people feel comfortable. Not because she's loud, not because she's trying to be the center of attention, but because she has this calm, steady energy that makes people feel safe. She's the kind of person who remembers the little things. Your favorite coffee order, the birthday you forgot about for yourself, soup because you're sick, the conversation you guys had 3 months ago where you mentioned you were nervous about something. She remembers because she genuinely cares. When I look at Elodie, the first word that comes to my mind is warmth. It's not angelic, it's not beauty, it's not elegance, it's warmth. She's the kind of person whose smile reaches her eyes, the type of person who would stop to help someone pick up groceries in a parking lot without thinking twice, the kind of person who would offer to help an elderly sim in the store because they're struggling. I imagine strangers naturally trusting her, kids waving at her, cats and dogs running up to her. There's just something comforting about her. That's the feeling I wanted to capture. My favorite thing about this challenge is that the Sims actually share the same face. I didn't change their facial features. They share the same eyes, the same nose, the same lips, the same bone structure. So when we meet Alara, you'll be able to kind of recognize her, but she changes so much just because of her personality. Because the point of One Sim, Two Lives isn't changing who someone is physically. It's exploring how two completely different lives can shape the exact same person. Everything that makes Elodie feel like an angel comes from the choices surrounding that face. The hairstyle, the makeup, the colors, the clothing, the way she presents herself. It's amazing how different the exact same sim can feel with just a few thoughtful decisions. I immediately knew that I wanted a butter blonde for her hair and something not super duper structured. I didn't want a blowout or straight sleek hair. I didn't want a structured updo for her all the time outfits. I wanted her golden curls. Something that curly hair is not effortless, but something that kind of looks effortless. The whole point in her is effortless beauty. And her makeup really follows that same idea. Very natural, very soft, very clean girl aesthetic, just enough to enhance her features without becoming the focus. Because I don't think Elodie is someone who's trying to impress people with how she looks. She leaves an impression because of who she is. I think Elodie's wardrobe says a lot about her before you even learn her traits. Everything feels light, flowy, comfortable, elegant without feeling expensive. She's someone who buys clothes because she loves them, not because they're trendy. I imagine she has pieces in her closet she's owned for years because they still make her feel happy every time she wears them. Nothing about her style is forced, it's just authentic. I think Elodie's formal outfit might actually be my favorite look in her entire wardrobe. The moment I found this dress, it immediately felt like her. It's elegant without being flashy, and that's something I really wanted to capture throughout her design. The soft, off-white fabric flows so beautifully, and paired with the gold detailing, it almost has this timeless, ethereal quality to it. It feels inspired by classical art or Greek goddesses rather than modern fashion trends, and I love that because it makes her feel like someone whose style isn't defined by what's popular, it's defined by what feels authentic to her. I can totally picture Elodie wearing this to a charity gala, an art museum fundraiser, even to her own beautiful garden wedding. She's not the person who walks into the room hoping everyone notices her. Instead, she's the person people remember because she made everyone else feel welcome. I also think this outfit reflects one of my favorite things about her: her quiet confidence. She doesn't need bold colors, dramatic silhouettes, or extravagant accessories to make an impression. She's comfortable in who she is, and I think that's one of the most beautiful kinds of confidence a person can have. For me, this outfit doesn't just say angel, it says grace, it says kindness, it says someone who carries herself with warmth and humility, and I think that's exactly who Elodie is. When it came time to choose her traits, honestly, it felt like I already knew them. She almost created herself. I gave her the cheerful trait because I think she's someone who wakes up each morning believing it's going to be a good day. Not because life has always been easy, but because she chooses optimism. She's the kind of person who finds little reasons to smile. Watching the sunrise, getting flowers at the grocery store, hearing birds outside her window. Those little moments matter to her. Then I chose generous. I don't imagine Elodie helping people because she wants recognition. In fact, I think she'd probably be embarrassed if someone praised her for it. She helps because in her mind, that's simply what people should do for one another. And finally, idealist. I love this trait so much because it feels hopeful. She believes people can change. She believes communities become stronger when people take care of each other, even when someone disappoints her. If Elodie is the kind of person who makes you feel at home, Alara is the kind of person you can't stop looking at. Not because she's trying to demand your attention, but because there's something about her that makes you curious. She walks into a room with confidence. She knows exactly who she is, and she doesn't feel the need to apologize for it. When I started creating Alara, I didn't want to make someone who was simply evil. That felt too predictable. Instead, I wanted to create someone who's complex. Someone who challenges people, someone who isn't afraid to take up space. Whether you love her or hate her, you are going to remember her. The first word that comes to mind when I look at Alara isn't actually evil, it's powerful. She carries herself differently than Elodie. She's the type of woman who knows exactly what she wants before she walks into the room. She's decisive, independent, maybe even a little unpredictable. I imagine she's incredibly intelligent, but she doesn't feel the need to prove it to anyone. She lets people underestimate her, and then she surprises them. Now that I already knew who Alara was, everything else started falling into place. Creating Alara became less about changing how she looked and more about changing the story she tells. Instead of asking myself what would make her look beautiful, I started asking what would make her feel like Alara. Every hairstyle I tried, every outfit, every accessory, I kept coming back to one question. Would Alara choose this? Because I think that's where character design becomes really interesting. You're not just dressing a sim anymore, you're dressing a personality. I wanted people to look at Alara and immediately get a completely different feeling than they got from Elodie. Instead of warmth, I wanted confidence. Instead of softness, I wanted strength. Instead of someone who quietly lights up a room, I wanted someone who owns the room the second she walks into it. That's honestly one of my favorite things about creating Sims. It's amazing how much personality you can communicate through styling alone. The hair, the makeup, the colors, the clothing, they all work together to tell the story before your sim ever speaks. By the time I finished, Alara didn't just look different. She felt different, and that's exactly what I was hoping to achieve. I knew almost immediately that I wanted Alara to have some sort of a dynamic haircut. Whether that was an angled bob, or a short pixie, or something spiky, or something sleek, I didn't know, but something dynamic. Compared to Elodie's long curls, this hairstyle feels so much more intentional, much more structured. Every strand feels like it's exactly where it's supposed to be. To me, that reflects Alara's personality perfectly. She likes control, she likes precision, she doesn't leave much to chance. I also leaned a lot more into dramatic makeup for Alara. The darker lipstick, the smoky eyes, the sharper eyeliner. Nothing feels accidental because nothing is accidental. Everything is precise and sharp. Unlike Elodie, who enhances her natural features, Alara uses makeup almost like armor. It tells people exactly who she is. When I started putting together Alara's wardrobe, I kept asking myself one question. Would she wear this because it's fashionable, or because it makes her feel powerful? And almost every time, the answer was power. She doesn't dress to blend in. She doesn't dress to make other people comfortable. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Her wardrobe reflects confidence. Bold colors, dark colors, strong silhouettes, statement pieces, texture. She's not interested in shrinking herself to fit someone else's expectations, and she doesn't want to be put in a box. I think Alara's party outfit is probably my favorite look in her entire wardrobe because it captures exactly who she is. The magenta red top immediately caught my attention because it's bold in a way people might not expect from a devil-inspired sim. Most people would probably reach for all black or a really dark red, but I actually liked introducing that vibrant pop of color. It shows that Alara isn't afraid to stand out or break expectations. Paired with the black miniskirt, chunky belt, and tall boots, the whole outfit feels confident without looking like she's trying too hard. Every piece has a purpose, and together they create someone who walks into a room completely comfortable and confident with herself. I imagine Alara at a rooftop party in the city. She's not standing in the corner waiting for someone to talk to her. She's laughing, debating ideas, telling stories, probably challenging someone's opinion just because she enjoys a good conversation, dancing it up on the dance floor. She is magnetic. She is electric. People naturally gravitate towards her. Not because she's the friendliest person in the room, but because she has a presence that's hard to ignore. I also think this outfit reflects something I really like about Alara. She doesn't confuse confidence with perfection. She wears what she loves. She says what she thinks, and if someone doesn't like it, she doesn't really care. To me, that's what makes this outfit work so well. It isn't just fashionable, it's authentic to Alara. When I got to choosing her traits, they actually came together really quickly. First, we have evil. Now, I don't really think Alara spends her free time plotting world domination. Maybe? I think this trait represents someone who's willing to make difficult decisions without worrying about how other people perceive her. She's comfortable being the villain in someone else's story if it means staying true to herself. Then I chose shady. This is probably my favorite trait because it adds so much mystery. Alara doesn't tell everyone everything. She observes. She listens. She keeps people guessing. You never quite know what she's thinking, and I imagine she prefers it that way. And finally, we got hothead. Alara feels things deeply. When she's happy, everyone knows. When she's angry, everyone definitely knows. She's passionate, impulsive, and sometimes reacts before thinking. But I also think that's part of what makes her feel human. When I imagine Alara's everyday life, it's completely different from Elodie's. I picture late mornings instead of early ones, dark coffee instead of tea, an apartment in the middle of the city instead of a quiet suburban neighborhood. She probably listens to rock music while getting ready. She thrives in busy environments. She's ambitious, competitive. She loves proving people wrong. I don't think she's trying to be everyone's favorite person. I think she'd rather be respected than liked. That's exactly why I chose the public enemy aspiration for her. To me, it isn't really about wanting everyone to hate her. It's not about her literally being public enemy number one. It's about refusing to follow the rules simply because someone else created them. She questions authority. She pushes boundaries. She isn't interested in fitting into someone else's version of success. She's determined to create her own path, even if it makes people uncomfortable. So that's Alara Graves. She's bold, she's unapologetic, she's fearlessly independent, and while Elodie represents compassion, Alara represents conviction. Neither a woman changed physically. They share the same face, the same starting point. But their clothes, their choices, their values, and the lives they've built have shaped them into completely different people. And honestly, sometimes the biggest differences between two people aren't what you can see, they're the choices they make every single day. And there we have it, stargazers. Elodie Vale and Alara Graves. Two versions of the same sim, but with two completely different stories to tell. Now I want to know, which side captured your heart? Are you choosing the angel's light or the devil's darkness? Let me know in the comments below. And this is only the beginning of One Sim 2 Lives. Over the next several weeks, I'll be creating even more sims with completely different personalities, styles, and stories. If you enjoyed this first challenge, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me for the next chapter. Until next time, stargazers.